do stay on the right-hand side. I'll tell you when to go left side, right? But she just chose to do it regardless of what you did, right? Just too busy watching you run, and she's not thinking, well, excuse me, you're going to stop and say, excuse me, first thing you got to do is do what? Attention to detail. You went on the right-hand side of that tunnel. Unless I crossed, there should be no reason why you're on the left-hand side, right?
She looked up and saw me, and she just wanted to chase me and couldn't get.
Right, so that's why I don't want the hand out. The first thing you got to do is say, you're on the right-hand side coming out, girl. You're not changing sides. I didn't cross, okay? So just do the jump to the tunnel. Tunnel. Excuse me. Now stop right there. No, now come back to where she started crossing behind you, right there. Now stay right there. Move with her and move to the jump. Good. Girly.
She just pulls that whole.
I don't care.
Can we stake this down?
Nope. You do not stake shoots down.
Barrel, nothing.
Nope.
Stand?
Nope. So now, what was she trying to teach?
What do you mean?
What was the goal of what we just harped on?
Crossing behind her?
Yeah. Was there anything that said "good girl" after she fixed it?
No.
Yeah. Right. This is what.
So there was no lesson learned there for her.
We'll let her finish it out and we'll talk to her about it. Good girl. That was there. We taught that, right? So now, Judy, what were we harping on for the last 10 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever it was? What was the actual goal of what we were trying to train?
Taking my hand out.
Okay, what else for her? What was she doing that we had to get on top of?
Stay on the right side that I leave it on.
Okay, so she went and did that, right?
Yes.
How does she know she's correct?
Because I didn't say good dog.
Well, you didn't say anything. You went on, right?
Right.
So now, do you think she learned it, or you think that she's going to try to make a mistake again? Probably, right?
Yeah.
So remember, when you have to stop and do something, you kind of went right all the way through from the chute, just kept on going, right?
Right.
Remember, it's not the sequence. Because if you can't teach her how to stay on the correct side, even, you're not going to get the sequence done. So first thing you got to do is acknowledge the fact that she's learning something, whatever it is, whether it's Nikki paying attention and not moving off, or whether it's Humphrey, backing down on the A-frame. You've got to be able to say, that's exactly what I wanted you to do. You stayed on your right-hand side. You didn't cross over to go
When
to
do
shoot.
I say that?
Right away, when she does it.
As soon as she takes that jump, you stop and good girl reward her.
You mean that I should have stopped her
Yeah.
after that, before the shoot?
Before the good girl, and now if you wanted to go to the shoot, you could still do it. But if you don't acknowledge any of it, she just decides, well, I looked into this one, I don't learn anything, I just kind of do whatever it is to get to wherever I'm going, right?
Sure
So, huh?
So
remember,
sure I say good dog.
so remember, you got 3 seconds at the most.
Right.
Most people say less than that, 2 to 3 seconds to acknowledge something.
To get that
After
reward,
that,
yeah.
no matter what you say. Okay, so if you're trying to teach a skill, which... Quick, stop! I don't know why. Quick! No. Hang on, that's how I got to show you that. Quickie! If you're going to teach them something, make sure that you say, okay, fine, I got to teach the thing, because remember, the biggest problem is she's cut behind you all the time, right? So if you're going to reproduce it, teach her something so she doesn't do that, you got to start acknowledging it first. Otherwise, you're going to have a real hard time, because she won't necessarily understand what you're doing, because her whole concept right now was to get on to the next obstacle, correct? So how she got to the chute was immaterial, whether she went over the jump or shot between the two and whatever. She doesn't understand it at that point, because you didn't stop at least at that point to acknowledge what it is you actually wanted her to do. So even if you're going to run the sequence, you still got to at least say, yeah, that's a good girl, Sophie, now let's go shoot. So remember, even when you're on a sequence, you do not run the sequence. You're teaching the actual skill that she might have not understood, which in her case is not, not the cross underneath you, the cross behind you. So yeah, good girl, you took the Christmas jump. Yeah, on the right hand side, that's what I wanted. Good job, now let's go shoot. Okay, so try it again. Because she doesn't. So now, come back a little bit from here. Come back, come back, come back. Now from there, start moving toward the jump. So just toss her to the jump. Turn and go. Good girl. Now try it with the blue jump.
Zach.
That's okay. Tunnel.
tell them. Alright, go tell them.
Yay!
Yay, good girl.
See, remember, you got to teach her. You don't just run the sequence, okay? So that you don't. So otherwise, what you're going to have to end up doing is every time you do something like that, you're going to have to keep protecting the jump, which is what the one thing you don't want to do.
Alright.
Okay. All right. Who's up? Joker.